For Financial Literacy Month, PCN, in partnership with the Pennsylvania Bankers Association, presents Financial Insights.
Today we're joined by Mark Ritter, Chair of the Pennsylvania Bankers Association Board of Directors and also Chief Administrative Officer with the Northumberland National Bank. Now, today we're going to talk about savings and investing, which is one of the 5 pillars of financial literacy. What all is encompassed under that umbrella of savings and investing?
Sure. First off, savings is a key component of financial security. It's something that everyone should be focused on as best they can. When you look at savings, one of the things that I found in my career over the years is that there's a number of folks that as you're raising a family, trying to start a business, whatever it may be, there may not be a lot of opportunity for savings at points in your life. But every dollar counts. And so if you get to the end of the week or the end of the month and you have what you believe to be a small amount, put it away. Compounding is a marvelous thing. The components of savings include setting goals, understanding your financial institutions that are available to you, products that are out there and how they work, and how they match to help you achieve your goals.
Now, before we get too deep into our conversation, can you explain for our viewers what is the Pennsylvania Bankers Association?
Pennsylvania Bankers Association is a member-driven organization that services approximately 120 members that we have across the state. All different size banks, many community banks, regional banks. We're very, very fortunate in Pennsylvania to have a marvelous array of institutions, all of which are solid, good providers of services to their communities, to their customers, their shareholders, and they take good care of the 70,000 bankers that make up Pennsylvania banking. The organization provides a number of key services to our members, member resources, education and training, which is vital, advocacy services, and then a variety of other products and services to serve our organization.
You chair the Board of Directors for the Pennsylvania Bankers Association. What does that role entail?
First off, it's a privilege to do so. The Board of Directors is made up of a group of very, very skilled business leaders, banking leaders, I should say, from across the Commonwealth. These are folks that help to set policy for the association, help to direct what products and services can best serve our membership, and most importantly, what products and services can best serve our communities. The banking industry, we take a lot of pride in what we do. We really are the lifeblood of the Commonwealth's economy. If you consider fundamentally what a bank does, we take in deposits, we make loans. And so we're that capital that is used to start up businesses, help folks buy a home. We take a lot of pride in the very noble business that we are in, and the Board of Directors really sets the direction for that.
What is the benefit of being a member of the Pennsylvania Bankers Association?
We could probably fill a lot of time talking about just that, but the highlights would be, again, training and development. They have an excellent syllabus of classes that support our members and support all of our bankers on our teams as they grow and develop in their careers. Member resources, access to certain vendors that can support our businesses. And as important as anything else, advocacy on behalf of the banking system and maintaining an open, free economy. Again, those advocacy services support the idea of us continuing to be that lifeblood of the economy.
Let's circle back to that topic of savings once again. What are some of the main reasons why someone might be focused on saving?
Everyone should be focused on saving. Saving, again, is the key to financial security going forward. Savings is important for any goal that someone may set, whether that is funding college, putting together a down payment for a home, starting a business, saving for retirement. We all have that as a goal that we've set for ourselves and for our families. The key to savings is understanding how to do it and seeking the help necessary to make it effective.
Is there a benefit for saving in perhaps a general savings account versus having a goal-focused account such as a 529 for college saving or a retirement account for retirement?
Sure. There are advantages to different products and services depending where someone is at their stage of life or what their goals may be. As an example, we always encourage our clients to save early and save often. It's the smart thing to do. When you begin to save, when you're starting to build savings and to build a financial future, accounts such as savings accounts make perfect sense. As you grow and as you develop additional goals in your life, such as saving for college, 529 plans may make a lot of sense. As you begin to save for retirement, which is something you should try to do as early as you can in life, IRAs contributing to your company's 401k, your organization's 403b, make perfect sense. Perhaps starting a business. That again is where savings accounts may come into play. As you gather more assets, that's when you can take advantage of many of our banks have wealth management departments, and in those departments you can get into accounts such as investment management accounts and the like that are more suited for folks that have already established a pool of dollars.
What are the benefits of saving your money in a financial institution as opposed to the proverbial stashing dollars under the mattress?
Sure. Well, first off, compounding is a marvelous thing if you do the math. And that's where some of these stories that I had mentioned earlier where folks are saying, gee, I don't have a lot to save. But do save whatever you can, because one day you're going to wake up and realize you have a nice pool of funds that you never thought you could have. So you can take advantage of that compounding by saving through a financial institution. In the case of our members at the Pennsylvania Bankers Association, our members offer a full array of products and services. At the bank, you could be looking at checking accounts, savings accounts, money market accounts, and so on, certificates of deposit, of course. As you get into the wealth management department, or practices, I should say, that's where you get into things like investment management accounts and the like, all of which are designed to provide compounding and returns on those dollars. Putting it under the mattress may feel safe, but unfortunately, the money isn't going to grow. And what will happen over time is inflation eats away at the buying power of those dollars. So investing them and placing those accounts in savings account, or those dollars in savings accounts, is quite important.
We talked about the benefit of having something at least as basic as a savings or checking account. How many people out there, how common is it that someone does not have any kind of relationship with a banking institution? There
is a segment of our population that in fact does not have a relationship with a bank, and we're as an industry working hard to try and fix that. Bank accounts are vitally important for someone for just common everyday transactions that occur in life. Direct deposit is how many people get paid today. Being able to write a check or use bill pay to pay one's bills. Collecting a tax refund, perhaps making a tax payment. You need a bank account to really be able to facilitate those transactions. Also, having a bank account saves folks money because there are other services out there such as check cashing services, but they can be costly, much more costly than a bank account. One of the things I've learned over my career is that there are some folks that have a reluctance to open a bank account due to some misperceptions. One is, A, you need a lot of money to open an account. Not true. Two, most accounts involve high fees. Again, not true. And third, some folks are reticent to open an account because perhaps they had some bad experience in the past, that they had some overdrafts and the like, and they believe that prohibits them from opening an account. None of those items are true. Many of our members at the Pennsylvania Bankers Association offer low-cost or no-cost accounts, and many of our members offer accounts that require minimal initial deposits to get to actually open the accounts. There's a couple of initiatives that are underway here, both nationally and in the Commonwealth, to try and deal with the underbanked or unbanked segment of our population. One is a national program, Bank on Certified Accounts, which is designed to provide those services to the underbanked community. We have some 45 banks here in Pennsylvania that are already participating in that, and that number we expect to grow. The Pennsylvania Bankers Association itself actually has established a statewide coalition, along with some not-for-profits and some federal and state agencies, and again designed to discover ways of reaching out to and bringing services to the unbanked and underbanked throughout the Commonwealth.
Can you talk a little bit more in detail about how the Bank On program works, and geographically, are there certain regions of the state that are more in need of those services?
I don't know the demographics, to be perfectly honest with you. How it works is it is a program designed to provide very low-cost accounts to folks, no overdraft fees, things of that sort, to help folks acclimate to the banking system and to get comfortable with those products.
Now, as we've been talking about savings, what basic guidance would you give somebody that wants to start saving?
First off, as I said, save early, save often. The old adage is pay yourself. So calculate first what you want to save, and then do your best to live on what's left. That can be challenging, and I would be the first one to admit that, particularly with folks starting out. But you do your best to put aside as much as you can. The first goal anyone should set is to put aside an emergency fund. 3 to 6 months to, frankly, serve as a buffer should something happen that you're out of work for whatever reason it may be. Once you're beyond that, then it's a matter of setting goals. Once you have those goals, then you tailor your savings to achieving those goals. One of the best tools for doing so are automatic payments. So you set yourself up so that at the right interval, once you're paid, you have these automatic payments that go into your various savings mechanisms. You set it up once. You don't think about it thereafter, other than to analyze it perhaps once a year. But what that does is it avoids that particular customer for having to go in every month and transfer dollars. And human nature is such that from time to time you may make the decision, maybe I won't do it this month because I'd rather do something else with the dollars. It's only human nature. We've all done that. But the automatic payments is a great discipline to help folks to achieve their goals.
Let's talk about some specific savings goals and how people can help attain those. For parents, for example, that are considering planning for a college education, how early should they start saving?
As soon as they possibly can. Ideally, you would do that once you bring little one home. For some folks, that's difficult. But as soon as you are comfortable that you have the free cash flow, you should start putting money in there. 529 plans are a terrific tool. Those funds grow, and as long as they're used for college education, there are no taxes on the earnings and then the growth in those accounts. They're very, very powerful.
What other college savings programs would you recommend?
There's the TAP program here in Pennsylvania that's oriented toward our state-owned universities. And those are the two primary ones that are out there.
Now, you mentioned 529s. What should someone know about investing within a 529?
Sure. The providers of those programs are investment houses that are very experienced with those funds. They will work with the client to determine what the investment profile should look like. In many cases, they have set investment styles based on number of years to when the funds are going to be used, so that more aggressive if you're talking about a baby or a toddler, less aggressive if you're talking about a teenager who's closer to actually entering school.
How would you help a parent differentiate which investor they would want to go through to plan that 529 program?
Another service that banks can provide, first off, we have 529 plans within the banks, but in addition to that, many of our banks offer wealth management services that work with different investment houses, and so they are very familiar, very conversant with how those 529 plans work.
Is there a general base amount that someone should have when they're beginning a savings program such as this? No, there really is not. It's a matter of what you can afford, and most importantly, what your goal is in once you get to the end of the road, if you will, once you want to begin using those funds. It depends on the price of the school, depends on how many years you wish to fund, so there's a number of variables. Banks can help in doing those calculations so that we can help folks with what that goal would be. On the other end of the spectrum, another savings goal is often geared toward retirement. What kind of savings products do banks offer in that realm?
Sure. A number of them. IRAs, of course, being the primary one. IRAs of different levels, different types of savings mechanisms that underlie those IRAs. So again, it depends on the profile of the client, risk tolerance of the client, how many dollars they have, and so forth. Banks also, through their wealth management departments, will administer 401k plans, ESOPs, and other retirement-style mechanisms. That's on the commercial side for banks, but they directly benefit the employees of those organizations. And
once again, how early in someone's career should they begin to start considering saving for retirement?
As soon as they possibly can. What we urge within the business is develop that emergency fund. The second priority then is begin saving for retirement. The goal over time is to get everyone to the point where between their contributions and what their employer may be putting in, that they're saving 15% of their income. It sounds like a lot of money, but in order to basically replicate your lifestyle in retirement, the savings have to be at something about that level.
I'm going to pause for 1 second because I almost had to swallow a cough there. I'm so sorry about that. So how do banks, I'll pause one more second. How do banks educate their consumers on what their retirement savings options might be?
Great question. A couple of ways. Folks within banks, quite a number of them, have the background in the education, by the way, a lot of that education through the Pennsylvania Bankers Association, as to how to help clients do several things. One, set a goal. Two, go through the math, the calculations to say, here are the numbers that we need in order to achieve that goal, and then what are the mechanisms or the tools that can be employed to reach that goal. That can be in the bank itself, if you will, at a branch. The other mechanism that's there is through the wealth management practices. There are folks that are formally trained in financial planning, and those financial planners can be a great asset to individuals, particularly if you have more complicated situations, such as there's a family business involved, or they wish to establish a family business, or there may be trusts involved and things of that sort. But whether it's at the bank or within the wealth management practice, there's a lot of skill that can be brought to customers.
Is there generally a benefit in diversifying different retirement savings options as opposed to just going with one particular product?
When you talk about a product, I assume you're talking about the underlying investments. Mm-hmm. Yeah, diversification is always a good idea. It's a good basic rule. Now, when you're starting out, in many cases, the best thing to do is start at the bank, where you're going to have a bank money market fund, CD, something like that as the underlying security. As you develop more dollars, then you have the opportunity to diversify. And again, that's where folks at the bank or within the wealth management practice can help.
Now, you used a rough figure of roughly about 15% should be saved toward retirement. Mm-hmm. What kind of factors go into making that determination of what someone is capable of putting away toward that fund?
Sure. Again, you look at income, you look at general living expenses, what other savings is necessary within that family. So, for example, if they're saving for college and those sorts of things. The objective would be to get folks to 15% as quickly as they can. Now, the reality is, if you're starting out in life, just beginning to build your balance sheet, if you will, and you're looking to buy a home and so forth, 15% it can be difficult. But as quickly as you can, you want to get to that figure, because that's another case where you'll wake up one day, a couple of decades into the future, and realize you have a nice nest egg and you're well prepared for retirement.
Now, a little earlier in the program, as you were talking about the Bank On program, we discussed there are some people that do not have a relationship with their community bank. What are the benefits of having that relationship, and how will that help those individuals moving forward as they age?
Sure. Again, the advantage of having a relationship and having a bank checking account and savings account, one, you avoid the costs of working outside of the banking system through such as check cashing companies and the like. But two, you've got easy facilitation of things like making payments, making deposits, making those automatic deposits into your various savings mechanisms. It's the best way to go about doing those things.
Do you have any final thoughts for our viewers on saving and investing?
Sure. A couple of basic rules to keep in mind. First off, save early, save often. The old adage of pay yourself first. Set goals. One of the mistakes that folks can make from time to time is not setting goals and tying their savings to those goals, or aligning their savings, I should say, to those goals. As important as anything else, set up the automatic payments. They're a marvelous tool. I can tell you I've done that throughout my life. Most bankers do. It's the best way to ensure that you're putting those dollars away.
Mark Ritter, Chair of the Pennsylvania Bankers Association Board of Directors and Chief Administrative Officer with the Northumberland National Bank. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Financial Insights is a presentation of PCN and sponsored by the Pennsylvania Bankers Association.